but AEW and New Japan working together at Forbidden Door. And if I am correct, you're the man that got Forbidden Door, the pay-per-view, off the ground by texting Tony Khan. Is this true?
It is true. Yeah. No, yeah. It was a text between me and Tony. I mean, obviously, like, the relationship with New Japan and AEW in the beginning was rocky, for the first, I don't know, year or 2 or 3 years of AEW's existence. And so I we started. My other dog wants to come in. This is crazy.
Should I sing again? Rocky, should I continue singing?
Hey, hello. So they don't think I'm lying.
That's not even your dog though. Yet you're lying. That's not he's someone else's dog.
Rented.
Yeah.
He's rented. No, he only does this when I do interviews. I swear. I don't know how he knows, but he does it. But anyway, so yeah, I texted Tony Khan and I said, hey, what about if we, get together and do a New Japan AEW show? And, I was like, my original idea was like, we could have some crossover matches because obviously there's a lot of politics, in going on with who's going to wrestle who. But at least if we did like kind of like this cool wrestling summit of, matches between both companies and, some crossover, some New Japan matches, some AEW matches, just as an introduction. And the next thing he texted me back was like 6 ideas for matches. And they were all intertwined and crossover matches between the both companies. So, right off the bat, he kind of knew some of the ideas that he wanted to do. And some of them actually made it to the first show. Some of them got scrapped, but yeah, he was super open to it. Tony's always been a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, he tells a story where, he came to the first Long Beach show that New Japan ran in, I think 2016, I want to say 17, 15, I'm not sure. But yeah, and he was in the first row. He had bought a ticket and he was in the first row. And so, he's always been a big supporter of the company. So I think to do business with New Japan in that way was pretty cool for AEW. And then obviously it worked out great. And, it was a financial moneymaker and, got a lot of people talking about the relationship between New Japan and AEW and how far it could actually go. And, we're still seeing it to this day.
Man, but you kind of mentioned though, you said it was rocky at first. As your name is Rocky. Why was it rocky though?
I think just, because so much talent came from New Japan to start AEW, right? Yeah. You had the Bucks, you had Kenny, Cody, Hangman, so many guys were already working in that Ring of Honor New Japan relationship initially. So, and especially in the beginning, New Japan is known for being a very loyal partner. You've seen the partnership with CMLL over so many years. So I think that there was a little bit of hesitancy, between just jumping into this thing and not knowing what it was going to be, A. And then B, there was guys leaving one company to, join another company. So, that's always a little tricky. It's always going to be a little tricky, and especially not knowing Tony at the time and nobody knowing what Tony was about, obviously had a lot to do with that. But I mean, the Bucks and Kenny and Cody, they all were trying from the very start to keep the relationship strong with New Japan. And, so everybody kind of, we're all connected, right? So many years in New Japan together, Ring of Honor together. So like, it wasn't anything personal. It was just, and the powers that be at the time who were in charge of New Japan, I think were more than, hesitant for sure. So yeah, but I mean, time only tells, so like New Japan got to see what AEW was all about and what the product was all about, and working on very small kind of dipping our toe in the water, when it comes to, Moxley and Kenta working, and I think Nagata went over in the beginning, and just seeing how that all kind of worked out, and then, started to really build a good rapport between the both companies. And, when it felt like it was time, I sent the text, and, next thing you know, Forbidden Door is like a yearly pay-per-view, so
Right.
far. So far, so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So far, so good. Though I think it was like last year, maybe the year before. I remember Nick Khan, who worked for the WWE, not Tony Khan, put out like this weird feeler that WWE wanted to work with New Japan. And then Tony Khan like went on TV, I think on Impact Wrestling, and kind of was like, no, it's not happening. So like I've always wondered, would the WWE ever work with New Japan? And like how far along or ever were there discussions about working together? Ever. Not just a couple of years ago, but like ever.
Oh, ever. I
You're
couldn't say. I'm sure there's been some conversations, down the line. I mean, both companies have been 50 plus years or 50
Yeah.
years. So it's like definitely they've worked together in the past back in the day, but in the modern era, I don't really know. I couldn't say how far any conversations went. I wasn't a part of them. So I really don't know. Yeah. I couldn't say, but
Yeah.
I'm sure something's happened. It always happens.
Sure, it's wrestling.
There's always conversations, so to be had. So I'm sure. But like I said, New Japan is a very loyal partner. They've always been that way. When they make partnerships, they try to see them all the way through to the very end. So I don't think it's necessarily such an easy transition from just working with AEW to WWE or vice versa.
Right. I imagine it's like dating a girl, you're dating a man, you go from your partner, you go one partner to another. Seems a little odd. But
Mhm.
maybe
Right. Yeah.
someday it'll happen. But that was one of the weirdest things I remember last year. Like, what? Forbidden Door just happened.
Wrestling.
And now I'm seeing the
Right.
WWE and New Japan are gonna work together. Like, wait, what's happening here?
Right. Right. No, for sure. I mean, CM Punk is back in WWE. Anything that happens, professional wrestling.
It is professional wrestling.